everyone's favorite holiday, right? You get to dress up as your favorite superhero, your favorite princess, or that really creepy clown from It. And everyone loves to get free candy and not be questioned for how much you're eating. But for me, Halloween 2012 was anything but a dream. It was way more like a nightmare. Or was it? So, me and my best friend, Catherine, had just come back from a super fun and full night of trick-or-treating. We were stuffed to the brim and decided to make this the most awesomest Halloween to ever exist. And of course, you have to watch a scary movie. So we decided to watch The Shining. And as a 7th grade girl who had never watched a horror movie before, The Shining was the most terrifying thing I could think of. I think I had nightmares of just the word red rum for weeks. So we watched the movie all the way through, and I'm shaking. I'm so shook, and we decided that it's probably not the smartest thing to go to sleep right after watching the scariest movie of all time. So we had to watch some Jersey Shore because Snooki cures all bad things. So now it's time to go to sleep. And to make this the coolest sleepover of all time, we decided that we should sleep outside on her trampoline because nothing is better than going to sleep camping on Halloween night. But unfortunately for us, it had rained and we couldn't sleep on the trampoline, so we opted for the couches in her living room instead. So I simply roll over and go right to sleep. But around 3 in the morning, there's a strange knock on her door, and I look around and I seem to be the only one awake. So I ignore it because it's not my house and I'm not about to go see who it is. So the knocking comes again, and this time there's a strange voice on the other side that says, "Come on guys, please let me in, please." And at this point, I'm freaking out. I just freeze, and still no one's awake but me. So I just ignore it, and eventually he leaves. So I turn over and I'm like, that was weird, and I'm just gonna go to sleep now. Boy, was I wrong. This man decides to jump the fence and completely faceplant into her backyard, get up and stumble over to the window I'm at, peek inside and start screaming, "Guys, please let me in. This isn't funny. Let me in." At this point, everyone's awake. Catherine's on the couch next to me, absolutely screaming and crying. Her mom, a 6'1" strong woman, runs down the stairs on the phone with 911, and her dad, a 5'8" scrawny man, runs behind her, holding a gun in his hand, screaming, "I will shoot him!" So me and Catherine decide to get out of there. We grab her 2 weenie dogs and run up to her room. Now remember, we had just watched a murder movie and was absolutely convinced that this man was going to come in here and kill us. So we lock ourselves in her closet and completely start crying, saying our final goodbyes, our final I love yous, and hunker down for our deaths. It's about 5 minutes later, we can hear the sirens through the door and are just getting ready to die. So it had been about 15 minutes, and no one had come to kill us, and no one had come to rescue us either. So we decide to open the closet and peek out and see what's happening, and we hear laughing. Everyone outside is cracking up laughing. Are you kidding me? This man just tried to kill us and everyone outside is laughing? So we reluctantly walk down the stairs to be met by Catherine's mom at the bottom. And she is like, "You guys have to come outside and see what's going on." So I was terrified but slowly followed her outside and saw the most interesting thing I had ever seen. The man who had broke into Catherine's house was actually a drunk guy who got lost from a party down the street and assumed that this was his own house. So he tried to let us in and thought we were being rude just for not letting him in. But this man decided to go as something very interesting for Halloween. He was dressed as a jailbird. The man who had just accidentally broke into Catherine's house was dressed as a runaway prisoner. The cops thought this was the funniest thing ever and had him in the back of the cop car, and they were taking pictures of him as he was letting out the most slurred cheese to ever exist. So, remember we were supposed to sleep on the trampoline that night? Imagine how that would have gone. So I guess the moral of the story is don't sleep on the trampoline. Or is it don't watch The Shining? I don't know. I'll let you decide.
All right. That story reminded me of one time when I was in Austin and someone did that to me. I was living alone in a studio apartment, part of an octoplex. My front door was right up the street. This guy thought he was at his apartment, decided to sleep on my porch. I didn't freak out though. That guy had a lot more feet for it. Still, shocking, surprising, upsetting. Okay, Danielle, there were a lot of things you were doing with language in your story that was outstanding. There was a lot of emotion on your part that was being put into words, your point of view, and your judgments about your friends and about your actions and about the other people involved in the story, that's being communicated in a way that's very clear and very interesting through your use of language. I really appreciate that part about your story. Great attitude and energy in the story. This is a good kind of story to build for this type of assignment. It's a scary story, puts us on the edge of our seats. Yeah, I mean, we know it's probably going to end up okay because you're still here today. The guy didn't come and murder you guys in your sleep. But getting to that resolution of what was that guy up to, I was worried for you for a second there. So, good spooky story to tell. A couple things I want you to work on for me. The conclusion of the story kind of left me. I would have liked you to thought through the conclusion a little bit more carefully, because the resolution for the story is, don't forget where you live, don't forget where your friend's house is, or you might get shot by a couple girls' 5'6" dad. I mean, that feels like the moral of the story. The moral of the story doesn't feel like don't sleep on the trampoline, because you guys didn't actually do that. And don't watch The Shining, because The Shining really didn't have anything to do with that guy and his actions and your reaction to that guy. You probably would have freaked out someone tapping on the window, even if you hadn't watched The Shining. So I just think the conclusion might have been rethought in a way that makes sense based upon the way the action of the story, that way the real action of the story unfolded. One thing I wanted to say. Just a little personal caveat. I fall asleep to scary movies. Shining is one of my favorites to put on. I love that Walter Carlos soundtrack. And puts me to sleep. It's soothing.
Right.
Is that weird?
Yes.
Yeah.
I feel like it is.
Let me tell you something great. Mother. Yeah, it just soothes me. It's very soothing. All right, thank you, Danielle.